Hey guys, what's happening? It's Meshi with Path to Wellness with Meshi. Thank you so much for joining me for another video. I hope you're having a wonderful day on this cold February morning. Is it morning? Kind of, yes. So, I'm not going to keep this intro super long because I really don't think we need to. Today, we are baking, out of all things, right? Right. But I thought that, you know what, today, since we have managed to completely survive Valentine's Day, and if you are in Canada, you're probably enjoying Family Day, which is a brand new, 10 years old national holiday right now. So you have the day off. So why not do something awesome in the kitchen, right? With like vegan ingredients. So if you want to see how we are going to be baking some amazing cupcakes, it's chocolate with chocolate ice cream. I keep calling it ice cream. It's chocolate icing. Then just stay tuned and let's get started. So for reference, I am going to be using the My New Roots cookbook, Inspire Plant-Based Recipes for Every Season from Sarah Britton. I have had this book for quite some time, and if you are struggling with cooking, especially if you are new to the plant-based eating style, then maybe you are at that same spot where I'm at, where really I want to make better choices, but at the same time, I don't necessarily want to. I'm finding that the learning curve is just a little bit getting to me. So what better way to learn than really just to throw myself into these projects where I am creating some awesome recipes, trying it out from people such as Sarah, and you know, it's just people that are just really great at creating amazing plant-based recipes. So dessert seemed like the perfect fit at this point. And honestly, it also happens to be my birthday today, which makes it even more special because I get to choose the ingredients that go into my own cake. So if I don't want dairy in my cake, or in this case my cupcake, it's not getting any dairy. So I have chosen, I'll just show you. This is the original recipe. This is a blood orange chocolate cake, and as you can tell, it also has a chocolate icing. I did not make the orange cake because honestly, for each cake batter, you will need about a cup of maple syrup. So I only made one batch and I'm perfectly happy with it. It's super moist. It's like the most delicious cupcake or cake that you will probably make in the next little while. And I didn't have to add any added sugar, obviously, because like between a cup of maple syrup, you're pretty much good to go. And it also has a dark chocolate date frosting, so that I just kind of cut the recipe in half. So don't worry, I will take you into my kitchen. I will list all the ingredients and we can kind of go through it step by step. And I will also give you some pointers of what not to do because halfway through the recipe, I kind of figured that out on my own. So without further ado, let's not waste any more time. Let's get going because we're using daylight here. So let's get going and let's get started with making some cupcakes. Hey guys, okay, so welcome to the kitchen. Let's get started here. So it looks like a cluttered mess around here and that's totally fine. So first, because our ingredients are gonna be going, the wet is gonna come into the dry. So first we're going to be using our mixer. And let's get started with the dry ingredients. And don't worry, like right here on the screen, I will list all of the dry ingredients so that you can kind of follow along. So first things is I have 2 cups of spelt flour, just measure it out. So we're going to dump that. Next, you will need half a cup of unsweetened cocoa powder. And then we're going to be using 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and I already have it measured out. So I have 2 teaspoons of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. So I'm just going to dump all of that in. Then we need half a teaspoon of sea salt, and because I don't use sea salt, I use the pink salt. Let's just grab our measuring spoon. So we need half a teaspoon of this guy. So this is all of our dry ingredients. So what we'll need is a mixer. You just kind of want to whisk it all together. and then slap the dog. for whining. Okay, one side note about whisking. Make sure, especially with the cocoa, is that you kind of whisk away all of the lumps that sort of come up. Okay, moving on to the wet ingredients. You will need about a cup of pure maple syrup. You will also need 1 1/4 cup of whatever milk. Well, my milk in this case is almond milk, but you can use coconut milk. Whatever nut milk you desire. I don't think it really matters. The fat content will change though, so just keep that in mind. Okay, next we're moving on to 6 tablespoons of coconut oil. Okay, so I have my coconut oil melted. We will also need 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And you will also need 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. So I have just raw apple cider vinegar. You see me adding the raw apple cider vinegar, but just a quick heads up that you're actually supposed to be adding the apple cider vinegar after you have mixed in all of your wet ingredients, and then you add your vinegar. So it still didn't affect the taste, but I just thought I would let you know. So once you have all your wet ingredients, you can just start slowly incorporating it right into the mixer. I just have just a muffin tin, and what we want to do is just add a little bit of coconut oil into everything, or just line them. It's totally up to you. I usually just like to just use some coconut oil so that we line them, and then we can just get everybody going. Oh, make sure that you stir your cake batter completely up so that there are no dry ingredients left over. Okay, we're back at it. So I'm using about a 1/4 cup measuring spoon just so that we can measure everything out relatively evenly. So this fits about 1/2 cup. Cupcakes are ready to go, so we're going to be putting them into the oven, and they're going to bake at 350 for, how long are you baking for? For approximately 50 minutes. Yes, so basically we're going to get these into the oven, so let's get going. We are going to be making our frosting. So what we're going to need is, I'm going to cut the recipe in half. So you will need 1 zest of 1 orange. So I already zested it right here. We're going to put it into our blender or your food processor. I don't have a food processor, so I'm just using my blender. I also have, as you can tell. Okay, so here I soaked about 2 cups of dates, because I'm going to be putting them into the blender, and because I don't want to destroy my blender, then I want them to be just nice and soft. So let's drain off the water. Just dump all of that in here. 1/2 cup of milk. I'm using coconut milk. And we'll need 1/4 cup of cacao powder. Nice, and you're gonna make a mess with cocoa powder. Just emotionally just prepare, but that's okay. We have all of our ingredients ready to go. Oh, and you'll also need about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Let's blend all this down and we'll see how we do. If you follow me on Instagram, you will probably caught the fact that I just completely ruined my sweater with the chocolate icing, but nevertheless I will show you the finished product. This is what she looks like. Can you kind of see it? It's got beautiful consistency. I did try a little bit, and you can actually taste the orange because of the orange zest. Like it's like obvious. So this will go into the fridge, and then once our cake is ready, then we can get going with icing, and we can even put some ice cream on top. But like, see, like it's fairly thick. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's like one of the best icings that you will probably make. Okay, so here are the cupcakes. Now that they're all finished, we're just gonna let them cool off a little bit. But here's what's happening with the coconut oil, okay? Look how easily they come out. So as you can tell, now all of my cupcakes have cooled, and I have my icing out of the fridge. And because I don't have a piping bag, nor do I have like all of the different heads for icing it, I'm just using a Ziploc bag, and I'm just going to cut out the end. Keep in mind, guys, I'm not a pastry chef, so bear with me. And I don't bake very often. But honestly, the flavor of this cake is ridiculous. So anyways, you just basically want to, let's let a little bit of the air out. I will only show you one. And if it's an epic fail, then I will leave the icing part up to you. Okay? Let's pick this tiny guy. He looks like he's ready to be iced. Is that cute? Super cute. And then you can just add a little bit of sparkles, whatever you want. Sure, we'll go with that. And ta-da! There you guys go. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys again next time. Thank you so much for taking the time and joining me. I hope that you had as much fun as I have in creating these beautiful cupcakes. By the way, at this point, if you're still watching, I'm hoping that you're actually eating your cupcake. You're not just watching me, because I already ate like 3. So, and if I sound like I have a little bit of a sugar rush, that's true, because I do, but for a good reason. Totally worth it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, and let me know in the comments below if you want to see any more vegan cooking recipes, because I would love to create more, because frankly, I don't cook it enough, and I don't cook enough in general, and I enjoy cooking. So I am making this a commitment to make more of a series of just relatively easy, relatively familiar vegan and vegetarian recipes that we can all sort of kind of learn from. If you want to see more, or if you have some cool recipes that I should try out, comment them down below. I would love to hear from you if you are new to the vegan eating style, just like me. And in the meanwhile, if you are brand new here and you just found me, well, welcome. I'm so glad that you are here. I usually post here on this channel about 3 times a week. I shoot for Tuesdays, Thursdays, and once on the weekend, but sometimes those days are a little bit off due to holidays or just life happens. It's okay, we'll make peace with it. But because I kind of go into a few different topics throughout the week, sometimes we talk about zero waste and living a more consciously driven life. Sometimes we talk about mindset shifts and how we can manage our mental health a little bit better. Other times we just chat about makeup and green beauty products. So because we kind of go into a few different topics, you might not actually know what's coming up when and what's coming up next. So to help you out and to be a little bit more conscious of your time, I usually release a recap email every single Sunday to my email community, where I break down each of the takeaways from each of my videos. So then that way you can know what you may have missed. And I also show you the schedule for what's coming up for the following week, and that way you don't miss anything. So if you wanted to sign up for that, it's completely free. Link is down in the description so you can check that out. And in the meanwhile, I hope you enjoyed this past Valentine's Day. If you are in Canada, I'm hoping that you are enjoying this beautiful family day and you are spending some time with your family. Keep warm, you guys, and just keep shining. Keep seeking the truth, and I will see you guys again in my next video. Bye.